Irish Mike here with Phoenix A Plus Coaching. So here's another follow along, but this one's with a little bit of a twist. We're not doing the usual follow along. We're always beating ourselves up. So this one's going to be just focused on breath work. So we're going to just talk about a little bit about what breath work is and how it's beneficial and what we do and how we do it. So we all breathe thousands of times a day, and most of the time we're not paying attention to it. And that can have a significant effect on our health. I heard a cool story yesterday that kind of gave me a great idea of what the breath is and how beneficial it is. So the idea was that we, as people, we breathe about 18 times per minute. That's on average. Then monkeys on average breathe about 32 times per minute, and then turtles breathe about 3 times per minute. So if you look at those breathing patterns and the frequency of breath over the course of a minute, and then correlate that to the actual lifespan, it all equates. So if you look at people, average age, average lifespan, 80 to 85 years. You look at monkeys, it's about 40 years, and then you look at turtles, 150 years. Now they might be completely unrelated, but it's a great way to look at it when you think the longer and the longer breath we take and the less breaths we take over the course of a minute, the longer the lifespan. So we only have a certain amount of breaths that we can take over the course of a lifetime. So if we can elongate those breaths, then we elongate our life. You might find some flaws in that logic, but it makes sense to me. So what we're going to do is we're just going to talk about nasal breathing. So there's so many benefits to nasal breathing. One, it puts us in a parasympathetic mode, which means it gets us in rest and digest. So a lot of us are in, whether it's a highly stressful job or it's having the kids at home or whatever it might be, we just have all these stressors that build up, and we get ourselves into a point where we're always in fight or flight. And that has an effect on the adrenals, and that has an effect on our sleep, and then that has an effect on our performance throughout the course of the day. So that can be an issue. And then when we're in that stressful state, then we tend to get into anxiety. So that also can be an issue, which then can suppress the immune system, and the list goes on and on and on. So by nasal breathing, like I said, we can get into that parasympathetic mode, but it also, by nasal breathing, if you look at the nose itself with the hairs and all that good stuff, and just the way that we take air in and it filters through, it's getting filtered, it's getting conditioned. And then it actually, because we breathe into the nose and it goes through that whole pattern, it actually gets into the lungs and gets into our tissues a lot better than it does when we mouth breathe. And then we can actually have an equal amount of CO2 going out. So when we mouth breathe, we do take in a larger volume of oxygen, but it's not a better quality of oxygen, if that makes sense. So those are some of the reasons we want to nasal breathe. We want to extend the breath and breathe less. So it'll actually bring down the heart rate. It'll bring down how many times our heart beats in a minute. So then it's better quality of work that your heart is doing, which then obviously pumps the blood around the body, which is again better quality and oxygenated blood. So many benefits. So that's enough talking. We're going to get into the breathing. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a 6-second breath in, 6-second breath out. So that means it's 5 breaths per minute, and we're just going to shoot for 5 minutes. So it's 25 breaths total. I'm just going to count them with my fingers as I go to keep track, but that's all it is, just 25 breaths. Now it might feel like a bit of a challenge. You might feel like you're struggling to breathe in for 6 seconds. So try to take a nice slow drawn breath in and then slow breath out. So we'll just get rolling. Go on the count of 3. So 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Alright, so there it is, 25 breaths, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So that was just 5 minutes of work. So if you can focus on practicing that over the course of a day, I'm not saying you have to do 5 minutes straight every time, but every time you become aware of it, just try to get back to that 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out, and reap the benefits. Decrease your stress, decrease your anxiety levels, increase your immune system strength, filter that air, condition that air coming in, reap the benefits, give it a go. Thanks for joining, and we'll talk to you guys next time.